Creators who are using AI on YouTube are going to be 5 years ahead of everyone else.
Bro, like ChatGPT, Midjourney, all these other AI softwares will eventually replace like all employees. Bro, this is an episode that no one can miss. Okay, so AI, man. This is crazy because I remember doing YouTube.
Oh yeah.
5 years ago. Actually, it's been a long time. It's been like 7 years. That's what's crazy. 7 years ago, I did YouTube, right? And the idea of outsourcing and delegating to freelancers online was so nuanced and so just new. Like, no, everyone was like, oh wow, you hired someone to help make a video with you. Oh my gosh, like that was so innovative and so new. But now we got AI in 2023. AI is starting to replace even a freelancer's role or an employee role. I mean, we've talked about it all the time behind the scenes. You work for some of the biggest YouTubers ever. Originally, YouTubers would, or even in jobs, they would have to employ maybe 20 people. But now with AI, 20 people goes down to literally one human being who just knows how to use ChatGPT, Midjourney, all the technology we're about to get into. It's changing the game, man. So like, what's kind of your take on the whole AI movement right now?
It's definitely wild, and like you said, it's like it's taking people's jobs, which for us maybe is a little nerve-wracking. But like you said, you still need that one human to run all these programs, right? It's gonna be absolutely wild when it gets to a point where it's just like AI can do it all itself. You don't even need that human input of anything to create a video, right? But I think it's, in my opinion, at the moment, it's nothing record-breaking. We're not changing the whole YouTube ecosystem yet, right? But I think within the next couple years, AI will take over to the point where it's like, we don't need thumbnail designers. We don't need, maybe it's VOD cutters on simple videos to cut out dead footage, right? AI will be able to do that all itself. So I think it's definitely something that I personally like in the space. Like you said, I feel like 5-6 years ago, it was rare, not only, but it was almost frowned upon to bring on other people to do your work, right? Whereas now it's like, please keep launching more AI tools so I can automate more of my work, right?
Do you really think that's going to get to a point where pretty much almost everything's 100% done by AI for content creators?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. What would you say can't?
I think there's elements, and this is like the Twitter argument everyone on Twitter is talking about for creators wise, like all the behind the scenes software developers, everyone's arguing back and forth about it, right?
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the problem you run into, the people who's truly doing great work with AI, software developers, right? They're going on Twitter or they're talking to random creators and saying, one day, pretty much your entire job will be outsourced by AI. But it's like, wait, but you're a software developer. Your whole role in life has been software. You don't know the work that goes into making content. And then the content creator, right? They say, oh no, AI is just a small tool. You know, they'll always need us, right?
Yep.
That also could be wrong because as we're gonna get into this in a little bit, these tools like ChatGPT can write your entire script for you. So if you're a scriptwriter right now, that's the role, like out of any role currently.
Oh yeah.
Being a scriptwriter is probably the most scary time ever. And I would be trying to develop skills that isn't just writing, but maybe something on top of it. Because right now, if you're a writer, your job is starting to get replaced very quickly. But the question is, and I always say it to people, I'm like, I believe personally, it's always in the middle. When you look at arguments between one side or the other side, it's always the middle where the answer is, right?
Yep.
And I'm wondering, this is why I'm asking you your opinion, bro, because it's like, personally for me, I've been in the space for a long time. I see AI maybe doing 90% of the work, but there will still need to be a conductor, a human that is able to tell it, okay, this is kind of what I need, or I need this angle, or a human that's able to look at the data in a certain way that maybe the AI may not be able to do.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. I almost say off of that, it's that AI isn't taking the creator job, it's taking the employee job, right? Like I always think there'll need to be at very minimum one person on a channel to have that personalization, right? Because I mean, you can even correlate it to like this Mr. Beastification of all these videos on YouTube, right? Like people watch it for so long, yeah, at first they like it, but eventually it dies off and they want that emotion driven in video, right? So that's when the creators like Ryan Trahan and Eric become popular. I almost feel like that's how it's going to be with AI, right? AI is going to like forefront YouTube so heavily, and we're going to find different tactics because there'll always be somebody that finds some way to like have a full generated software that can come up with a thumbnail that's good enough to use, right? Without any human touch-ups needed, right? But I feel like it's almost going to come to a point where it's like everybody's doing that to where it's lost its human interaction and people aren't feeling value out of the videos.
I just feel like though we'll have to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But personally, my take is I think that there will still be human element that's needed.
Yeah.
And I think there's too much hype right now about AI. AI is becoming crypto.
For sure.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you guys, I have a lot of connections with people who I know who are big about crypto, and then 6 months later, crypto collapsed, and guess what they're doing now? AI is the future. AI this, AI that. it's like, yo, like that's not that like it's like it makes me be like, okay, you're a grifter.
Yeah.
The ones who's actually going to create innovation are the ones who's been in this for 5 years, creating AI technology when AI wasn't cool. Those are the guys that's in the forefront making a difference.
I mean,
and those are the ones I listen to for advice. And those guys, even those guys are saying, look,
we're ahead of our time.
We're ahead of time, but they're saying like, even for my role, they think it's maybe 90%. They even agree with the fact that 100% AI, maybe some elements, some videos could be, but you're talking about a Mr. Beast video, for example. That's not going to be 100% AI. So when they say it from that lens, I'm like, yeah, like even the AI developers agree that it won't be 100% AI,
right?
But they do say 80, 90%, it could be AI.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I think that, I mean, whether I like it or not doesn't matter. Things are going to happen. I think that it's scary, not for me because I'm very good at adapting. My team is good at adapting. That's what I teach all the time. But I'm worried about the individuals who do not have a network of people like we do, who do not have a mastermind. And this is also why, by the way, we created this podcast because we're getting the insider scoops every day. We are working with hundreds of clients. So we see across variations of niches of what's happening every day. So we're consuming that information, learning, and then sending it off to you guys. But for the average person who doesn't have a network, who doesn't have connections, I'm worried about them if they don't adapt quickly. If you sit on the sidelines and you don't try to get good at AI, you don't try to learn the technology, you're definitely going to get ran over by someone who is willing to spend that extra hour a day in learning it.
Oh, for sure. And I think what's interesting as well is like, I don't know, I still work with a lot of clients, larger client teams, and even myself, I'm not seeing a big, I guess you would say, like adaptability of AI. There's no teams that I've been on or even just consulted for that I've seen like are even using ChatGPT or Midjourney or some of these programs that automate a lot of your time. So it's interesting to see over time more and more teams implementing the use of AI. And I want to see what the first main role is snatched by that. Because in my opinion as well, it's going to be script writers, right?
It's already happened. The average person I'm talking to today, because I talk to people who are dedicated. You talk to the big face
creators,
YouTubers. You talk to face creators. The people I work with are mainly faceless automator creators.
Right.
Most of their work is being outsourced, like script-wise. Most of the script is being outsourced to ChatGPT. And then they just have to add a few final touches. So like I said, writers right now are losing jobs. I mean, you're talking about a job that originally costed $50 to $100 for a 1,000 to 2,000 word script is now getting outsourced from the channel owner or to someone else for $10.
Yeah.
That is a massive disruption to pretty much an entire industry of type of person, and money wise. Like it's bad for them.
Yeah. I would say my biggest tip right now is just first off, learning how to utilize AI. Like what do all these programs do? And obviously we're going to walk it through. That's the whole point of this video. But like, even if you're a writer right now and you're nervous about ChatGPT taking your job, you can still find ways to use ChatGPT or AI in general to implement that to make your writing better, right? So, I mean, there's still people, with every facade, like you said, that are years behind, haven't even heard of ChatGPT yet, that you can still use that within, hopefully all of 2023, whatever, to your ability.
Guys, the whole point of this podcast is so you can be ahead of pretty much 99, and you will be 99.9% of creators. And I just want to real quick, before we get into some tips, one more thing. I want to mention to you guys, remember, in 2016 and 2017 was the first time I learned how to outsource video production and faceless videos to creators or freelancers online to get a scriptwriter, narrator, video editor, etc. Only recently, the last 2 years, everyone is talking about that method that I've been doing for the last 7 years. What that means for you is that right now, you just listening to our words alone, you're going to be 5 years ahead of the competition. And even better, if you actually execute on everything we talk about and try to learn more than what even we talk about, you will probably be 7, 8 years ahead of the competitors, which is very, very big in 1 year time. You could probably make millions of dollars if you did everything right. You could probably make millions of dollars, and they won't be able to catch up for another 3 years.